Why, hello there. Today we are going to do the Under the Influence book tag. I was tagged by Criminali, and if you haven't had a chance to check out his channel or know who he is, he reads crime, horror, pulp, that sort of thing, and much more. He has just a delightful channel and the founder of, most importantly, Garb August, the time of year that is filled with trashy books of the most glorious accord. This tag was originally created by a book olive. Okay, so the first question is, what is a fantastic book that you read off the recommendation of another booktuber? And then oppositely, what's a book that you were talked out of reading by another booktuber? So a fantastic book that I read, there's been a few of them, but like the one that really stands out in my brain is probably Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. There is a fantasy booktuber called The Ponderings of Pete, and he does all things fantasy. And I asked him where was a good place to start with Brandon Sanderson, and he said the Mistborn trilogy. So I started with that, and I absolutely loved it. I am on to the third book now. I haven't started it yet, Hero of Ages, but that's gonna happen soon. Now, as for a book that I've been talked out of reading because of another booktuber, I'm trying to think. I honestly can't think of one. I follow so many different people on Booktube that a lot of the books that I'll hear about that people don't necessarily like, someone else will really like. I haven't really come across something that someone hated so much that I was like, I'm not gonna read this. I've always been one of those people who still needs to see the movie that sucked, even though everyone else said it sucked, because I want my own opinion. I don't think anyone has ever really deterred me from reading something I wanted to read. That was a long, rambly way to say, nope. Can't think of one currently. Bring them along. Has Booktube opened your mind to or changed your mind about other genres? Booktube has definitely expanded my horizons, I would say. I still read the core of my favorites, horror, fantasy, sci-fi, paranormal, but I have stuck a toe, maybe a pinky toe, into romance, but not straight up like romance, more things along the line of like, if it's like a fantasy and romance is involved, but it's not the focus. I just read a werewolf romance that I liked quite a bit. It was pretty darn good. And that Booktube has definitely influenced that. There's so much with all the different people, that you end up connecting with on here, all the different tastes and books that you hear about that maybe you never would have picked up before. My horizon has definitely expanded since coming into Booktube, 100%. The next question is, how much time did you spend on YouTube before Booktube, and how much time do you spend on it now? Before Booktube, I spent not a ton of time. I like a little bit here and there. I honestly did not watch as much as I do now. Now I watch it pretty much every day. So that has skyrocketed in my YouTube watching. I need to know about new books. I need to know your opinions on these books. What do you like? What do you hate? What's stupid? What's good? Tags like this. How many books did you read per year or per month before Booktube as compared to now? So before Booktube, I read, we could say an average of between 40 to 60 books a year. That was before, which I thought was pretty good. And it's almost been a year since I've been on Booktube. And some point in January will be a year. This past year, I have read, I don't remember the exact number. I know it's over 120 books. So that has increased a lot. If in my spare time I'm not reading, I feel like I'm not being productive, but I'm not doing something, and I don't know. I'm always craving to read the next thing. There's just so much good stuff to read out there. You know what I'm saying. Has Booktube affected your book buying habits, and are you pleased or displeased about that? It's influenced me to buy specific books. It has not increased my book buying though. I do get a lot of books from the library. I also donate a lot of books. I do plan to fully fill these shelves behind me. As you can see, the bottom shelves aren't completely full. I do have 2 other bookshelves in the house though, that one of them's out in one of the main rooms, and it would look really dumb if I took all the books off of it. So I'm leaving those there, and then I'm curating back here a bit more. Horror, fantasy, sci-fi, a shelf for arcs, nonfiction, and I have a bunch of like witchy and gardening books and stuff that I'm gonna put on there. My buying habits have not changed. The influence of the books I buy, and specific ones that honestly I never would have picked up, has definitely been influenced by being on Booktube. Has a review by a booktuber ever retroactively made you change your stance on a book that you have read? Maybe it's made me question it a little bit, but I'm very confident in my firm belief that we all have such different opinions. You know, you're gonna hate books I love and I'm gonna hate books you love. Some books you'll be like, well, that was okay, and then some books I'll be like, what do you mean? That was awesome. And then some will share a love together. We have all such different opinions that I can't think of one that really like shook what my opinion was. I mean, maybe it has me question it a little bit, but I would have to go back and read it myself again to see if, you know, I agree with those points. And there probably is, like, you know, people have a lot of good points of contention that they'll bring up that sheds things in a new light. Just the way people process stuff, like, thought processes are so different from everyone. So, like, it's kind of cool to see other people's perspectives, what they didn't like, what they did like, and all that sort of stuff. Are there any videos you've been inspired to make after seeing another booktuber's videos? Have you ever been influenced by another booktuber's style or video style, their book organization style, their personal style, anything? I mean, I have done videos because I saw someone do a tag and I was like, that's a great tag, I'm gonna do that one. Pretty in Paper Cuts did a video about the best book covers on my shelf and I was like, that is a great video idea. I'm gonna do that one too. So yes, and that I have. As for other people's video style and aesthetic or video type, I don't know if I've really been influenced by that. I guess I've been influenced by everybody in Booktube having their bookshelves behind them, and I wanted to have my real bookshelves behind me instead of the green screen, which I couldn't do for a while because when starting the Booktube channel, I had bookshelves, none of which matched. These I built this year. They were different sizes and there's books just crammed all over the place, so I couldn't really have them there. And then all the stuff that where I was filming before in the basement, and my partner and I used to stream on Twitch. We did that for like 6 years, and so we still have all like this studio equipment down there, so I would just stream there and use the green screen. But I always wanted, like, this is the goal, be in this room with this, the bookshelves, and, you know, not have to have a weird green screen. I can hold up any kind of book and it's not gonna look see-through and weird where I have to scream about it on the video and be like, ah! So be able to see more book covers now. And then sometimes I just still will do the digital because I returned it to the library. So a lot of times if I don't have the book, it's because it was a library book that I read and returned. And that got off subject. That totally got off subject. But I think the biggest thing that is taken from other booktubers, you know, you tweak stuff, you like this, you like that, you know, and then you form it to your own aesthetic. But yeah, having the bookshelves in the background. What are some pressures you feel on your reading life because of the channel? I don't know. I don't feel like I feel any pressures. I haven't yet. I read enough books where there's no pressure to keep up. Reading is my main pastime. I don't really watch much TV. There's always some book to talk about, so I don't have that pressure, and it's been a year now that I've been making 3 videos a week, and that I've built it nicely into a schedule to keep that on track. I don't know. There's gotta be some sort of pressure, right? The pressure to minutely improve my film editing, because I still feel like it's choppy and can be better, and bits of stuff to tweak and to learn and to get better at all of this stuff. I'm sure it's there somewhere, and I'm just in my brain. After I stop recording, I'll be like, oh yeah, totally, this is super pressure about this. Maybe not. In what way, if any, do you feel the social element of the community has influenced your reading? Do you think about books differently since joining? Well, the community has definitely influenced my reading. As I said, I mean, I pick up books, like in some of my videos I've talked about, I got this book at the library because all the cool kids were reading it, or I picked up this book because everybody was talking about this. There's a lot of those that I've picked up because booktubers or bookstagram people were talking about them. That has been a big influence. It's not just in one genre, it's all over. It's nonfiction, it's fiction, it's historical fiction, horror, fantasy, and there's so much. And it's awesome because it expands your horizons and you read different things and different authors that you probably would never experience. And another thing, I have really gotten into reading indie books. I am a big advocate for supporting your indie publishers, and I've found so many amazing authors from like some of these smaller presses. Like some of my favorite ones ones are Cemetery Gates Media and Spooky House Press, Tenebris Press, and also Darklit Press. Those are some of my favorites. There's more. There's much more, but those are the ones that jump into my brain, and they're awesome. Like, I'll put links to their websites down below too, because they always have like unique and awesome books to check out. You find authors that, you know, they're new and upcoming, but just so many good books out there. And as for, do I think about books differently since joining? No. I still love them just as much as I did before. I just read more. What impact do you hope that your channel will have on aspiring booktubers and on the booktube community? I hope that I can inspire people to be their goofy, weird selves. If you want to make weird noises on camera, do it. If you want to say goofy things, do it. Hone your persona and be your weird, goofy, wild self. And I know sometimes it's awkward at first, talking to the camera, but if I can do it, you can do it. Basically, nowadays, all you need really is a phone. You don't have to get anything fancy or any kind of fancy equipment. Start out small, and if you find that you like it, keep going, get better equipment. Everyone in the booktube community that I've come across so far has been so kind and nice and passionate about books, which is awesome because most people in my life are not passionate about books. There's like a couple, and I see them very few and far between, like a couple times a year. So I hope I can spread the love of good books to other people, the ones that I found that were awesome. And even if you don't like it, you don't have to finish reading it. I don't know. I know not everyone's gonna have the same type of taste in books, but I think it's kind of cool having this community. Booktube has become such like an integral part of my life, and it's been really surprising, and some of the people that I've met along the way have been really awesome, and I couldn't ask for a better online community. I hope I can be a light for people to be goofy, be weird, read books. If you have any questions, please feel free. I know a little bit about this stuff, not a lot, but I do have 6 years of experience of streaming on Twitch, so I feel like a lot of that can be compiled into this. Be weird, read books. If I can do it, you can too. And now comes the part where I'm supposed to tag people. We all know, if you've been following this channel, that I'm really weird about tagging people because I'm a freaking weirdo. But today I'm gonna tag someone. I'm gonna tag the man with a hat who reads, Matt. He is one of my favorites. He reads a lot of books that are similar to me. Horror, sci-fi, fantasy. He likes really weird books too. I just really enjoy his content. This is the first. That's the first time I've actually tagged someone. You should be proud of me. See? Be your weird self. So I really enjoyed this tag. This was a lot of fun. If you guys are fans of tag videos, the next video coming up is going to be another tag video, so stick around, check it out. And if you had fun hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.